It was a pretty brave effort from the Pies. We thought the Cats by how far, the first 10, 15 minutes of that second quarter, and it was at 9 goals to 1. And then you add to the fact that they lost Howe and Perryman at about the halfway point of the game. Tim Membry didn't look right across the ground either, so it was hard for him to have an impact. And how that actually impacted the Pies was their defence, and they got caught in their back line a fair bit with Cats just pumping the ball in there all the time. And we kept highlighting the fact that, Houston's down there to provide run and rebound and get them out of there, but he was forced into defending, the second and third tall for the Cats, or significant height disadvantage, and that played into Geelong's hands when they needed it. They needed a goal at different times, but when the Pies dialed up the pressure, they had the Cats under the pump, but they shopped early and avoided the rush, the Cats.
Yeah, 9 of the first 10 goals. It was always going to be hard from there, but as you said, it was a brave effort. We'll just quickly go through the goal kickers before we hear more from Joel. Our post-game is always brought to you by Macca's. Don't make us walk, Macca's run. To the new quarter pounder barbecue bacon. Your calls are welcome on the Nick Theodosi open line. Nick Theodosi Prestige Cars. 55 years in business. Everybody should own a Prestige car at least once in a lifetime. And our Harvey Norman caller of the day, the Harvey Norman $100 gift card. Best brands, best range, best prices. Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance ends on July 30. For the Cats, and they had a myriad of targets up forward who were all pretty fruitful on the night. 3 goals to Ollie Henry against his old team. So he kicked 4 earlier in the year against the Pies. 3 goals, 2 tonight. 3 to Jay Polkinghorne. He's gone 2 goals, and 3 at his first 3 games in AFL footy. And looks right at home at the level, the young South Australian. Shannon Neal, a great target all night. 2 goals, 2. 2 goals to Ollie Dempsey. He finished the night with 29 disposals, did most of his damage when the Cats did in that first half on the wing. He was dangerous pushing forward, as he so often is. Singles to Brian Myers, Jack Martin, Mark Blitzarves, Ollie Wilshire and Sean Manor. And for the Magpies, 5 goals to Dan McStay. He continues his great run of form. 2 goals to Beau McCreary, just popping up. 1 goal, 3 to Anderson. And then a single goal to West and to Harrison for the Magpies. So that was the tail of the tape from a goal-kicking point of view. 15-7, 97 to 10-12, 72. And on the ladder, Geelong jump up ahead of Melbourne, the Bulldogs, and Adelaide to 48 with a percentage of 117.7. But the Bulldogs play Freo, so they've got a huge ask if they want to jump back ahead of the Cats. So Adelaide play Essendon. You think they'd win and get a big percentage boost? And who have Melbourne got again this weekend?
Melbourne.
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, yeah, that's on Sunday, isn't it? So that's still to come. No absolute fait accompli there. So the Cats could be as high as 5th. More likely they might be have swapped places with the Pies by the end of the weekend and be an 8th spot.
Well, the Cats, they got it done from the clearance, if anything. They went 57 to 43 in there, and then if you look at the inside 50s, well, the Cats had it down there on 67 occasions, so give their forwards plenty of chances to 45, and that was really the story. Those mid-sized forwards of the Cats got involved at different stages throughout the night. Good to see Ollie Henry cash in. There was a bit of a flower bag, that last one that he kicked through and broke the hearts of the Collingwood supporters, but apart from that, it was sort of just so fast and crazy fast, to be honest, that first half, and it felt like that Geelong was going to give Collingwood a stage and an opportunity to get back in the game, and they were able to take it at certain stages, but not able to take it anywhere near enough.
Yeah, it felt like a game that was in such high speed and tempo, that first quarter in particular, and the rebound, half back lines and half forward lines, I think they were, and you throw in the wing. So the outside, the centre square had a big impact tonight. Like Bailey Smith got his numbers, but I actually don't, clearances, grunt work. Nick and Dacos and Josh Dacos, they did the grunt work, but it actually felt like the impact of the game tonight came from the guys who traditionally are the outside guys. So Dempsey was really influential, especially in the first 2.5, 3 quarters. And then, the ability to be brave and take the ball up through the middle from Collingwood, they started to get some good looks, and that's why we saw McStay cash in. And he's benefited from Collingwood to going to a little bit quicker ball movement style. I think in the first half of the year, their defence always stands up, but they were just a little bit stodgy, the Pies. I think their last 7 weeks, 6 wins and now finally a loss. just been having a willingness to back their back six in a bit more and just go with a bit more speed and tempo.
Do you think, we'll get to some calls in a moment, and we're already lining up on 133 693 with thanks to Nick Theodosi. If Collingwood lose Howe, they've already lost Maynard, if they were to lose...
And the Perryman.
Howe and Perryman, which you'd think most likely for next week, would West Coast be a chance in Perth against them?
Whoa, they're getting better. They are getting better quick.
They can't sustain it at the moment in games, but they are looking dangerous.
I think with West Coast this year is, I think, across the board, individuals have gotten better. It's pretty actually hard to find someone as an individual at West Coast has gotten better, but the team, it's made smaller inroads. I think the team's still improved, but not as much as each individual has improved. So I reckon next year, where West Coast, we hope to see a big leap as a team, as a unit.
So you think Collingwood should be able to win that, because as we've said, they've got Hawthorn and Brisbane after that, and
there's still enough out there.
They need to win one just to make sure they play in the wild card.
Yeah, so I reckon a good indication. I think Swaddling was stiff to miss tonight. I think he's shown a bit. Sullivan has always come in and just played his role. I liked what I saw from Harrison. So if he can turn his quarters now into halves and three quarters. Ned Long didn't have his biggest of game. McCreary, not his biggest game. Anderson was a bit quieter. So they've got some guys that can come in and provide some temporary cover, of course, for those outs.
Quickly take Greg's call while we wait for Tom to get ready and chat to Jack. G'day, Greg.
Hey, how you going?
Good, thank you, mate.
I'll just try and be quick. I reckon the game's rigged. The umpire in especially the last 2 weeks against Collingwood has been shocking. You look at the free kicks tonight.
Against Collingwood tonight?
In Geelong's favour.
Did you see the free kick count,
double,
Greg?
Yeah.
No, I think he's speaking.
We had six free kicks. 27 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think you got it around the wrong way, Hutto.
Nah. And then...
Collingwood had 24 free kicks to Geelong 7. Is that what you're saying?
No, Geelong had more free kicks. More so in the first half.
No,
Greg's got them around the wrong way.
The final free kicks was 24 to Collingwood, 7 to Geelong.
Well, my phone's wrong then. I was looking at the AFL app and it's saying that.
Sorry, Greg.
Yeah. Still put him in for the Harvey Norman.
Yeah. Sorry, Greg, to flatten you there, mate. Paul has been waiting patiently. G'day, Paul.
Yes, good evening, team. Great call, by the way. I went to the game. Before I get to my main point about the fixture, can someone please find out why is an AFL app that's supposedly live not showing the live countdown like it used to? Because I don't know whether any of you guys have switched over, but when you're actually throwing it in because you want to see how much time is left from the game, because you don't see it at the game, it wasn't showing a live countdown. I don't know what's going on there, but that's just one for the records, okay? The other one is, how is it, someone explain to me with the fixture, last year, right, the last 4 rounds of this year, right, Collingwood has to play, and they never finished in the grand final, they have to play a second team to finish second, third, and Hawthorn 8th. Whereas Geelong, they're playing in their last 3 rounds. Essendon have finished 15th, North Melbourne have finished 16th, and Richmond have finished 17th. You can't tell me that there's no favouritism there by the AFL to boost the Geelong's productivity in the season. Shocking around AFL, absolutely shocking. So someone explain that to me, and they finished in the grand final and they lost.
I can answer the AFL app one because I was using that. Sometimes when we get half-decent crowds, just the internet, it sometimes is a bit slow to update some things. So I was getting team stats tonight on the AFL app, but then the player stats were taking a bit of time to tick over. That was just on the AFL. Eventually they did tick over, so that might have happened with your clock there. And the fixturing, I'm going to leave that one.
Well, the fixturing matrix depends on where you finish, and at the end of the day, Geelong have probably played other sides in the top 8 at different stages throughout the season, and than when Collingwood have. But at the end,
so Geelong haven't yet played Richmond or Essendon for the whole season. So, I mean, it's an interesting point. And Geelong have actually had this and it's been kind of seen as a disadvantage more than anything. running into the finals regularly. They've played poor teams. Now, there's certainly there's an argument to say it's an advantage because it helps you get there, but you play who you play over the period of time. And, it's not necessarily an ideal tune-up for finals. It's been the argument in the past, but that probably hasn't, given that Geelong have progressed pretty well, that probably hasn't held sway. But they haven't played two of those teams yet. So up until now, they haven't played the bottom two teams.
Yeah, when other sides, you think throughout the year, maybe you get them at good times, maybe you don't. Maybe you're able to rest players and use it as sort of a time to freshen some players up.
Paul, you wouldn't think that the years balance each other out? Because, I mean, there have been critics over the years who have said that Collingwood have been favoured by the draw because they haven't had to travel interstate, some years much at all. And, the argument has tended to be slanted the other way at times like that.
Well, Collingwood tends to play a lot of interstate games as well, and they tend to be very successful. I mean, we win a lot of games in Adelaide. We've beaten Brisbane up there, even in Sydney, at SCG. And even over in
this team
WA,
with Craig McRae's, has been outstanding on the road. There's no doubt about that.
It is an interesting point you've made, Paul, but as I said, they haven't played those two teams at all this year. So they have to play them at some stage, but it is a bit of an oddity that you would play the bottom three teams. Oh, they're not the bottom three because North are not the bottom team. And North will be a challenge for them, I think. You'd expect them to beat
at Marvel,
Essendon and Richmond pretty easily, given current form. But I think North will be a challenge.
You've got to be on your game against North Melbourne, that's for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul, for your call. Sam is next up on the line. Hi, Sam.
Congratulations to the Stepford Cats. Too good. Absolutely a different skill level to us tonight. Apparently Collingwood had a light training week this week. You can half tell that first half was just deplorable. And I can't comprehend how Ollie Dempsey does it to us every time we play against him, and we had no contingency plan set up for him. He just ran around and just wreaked havoc in the first half, and that cost us. We fought gamefully. We tried our best. We did the Collingwood thing, but that was shocking. The first half was just terrible, and just that's a year gone. It's basically mothballs now. Next week's no lay down misère against the Eagles either. We've got like 3/4 of our back line out now.
Difficult to speak after a loss like that. But where do you think it went wrong in the opening quarter? Because they really got away from you.
Yeah, I think their clearance game was really strong all night, and they really got on top around the ball, centre bounce and stoppage all around the ground. And some of their intercepting players are really, really strong players. And I thought they played really well, and it was just really hard to move the ball. Every time we looked up, they had 3 extra numbers rolling around, which is what we had planned that they'd be doing. But they also had great pressure on the ball, so it makes it hard to make a good decision, ball in hand. You have to be pretty brave to cut through their defence. So, they were really good.
Do you feel like you made some inroads as the game wore on to break down those chains?
Yeah, definitely. Really proud that I don't know how much we were down by. I felt like 50 maybe, and I was really proud that we were able to fight back and believe that we could still win it. And we obviously had some really good play in those second and third quarters to gain some momentum. And I thought we were braver with the ball going forward, and it looked really good.
Pat, Jimmy Bartel here. Thanks for joining us. You're just mentioning braver with the ball. Is that trying to take them on through the middle? Is it just trying to play on a bit quicker? Talk to us about what braver with the ball means.
Yeah, I think it plays into their hands, Geelong, when you go skinny. They have a lot of numbers set up, and they try to get, Tom Stewart, Jack Henry, those type of guys free to intercept. So when I say braver, probably just trying to utilise the corridor and change angles with the ball to offset those defenders a bit more.
And the work of Nick, he still had a big impact. You guys would have been clearly aware that Oisin Mullen was going to him. Was there, I guess, a point during the week that can you put a block on or get the ball in his hands a little bit more earlier in the game?
Yeah, definitely made a point of that. Nick gets tagged every week, so we always try and support him, and I know if he's ever running past me, I'm giving him the ball, because why not? He makes such good decisions. He's the best player in the comp. So, yeah, we always try to give him the ball, and he always makes good decisions, and it was definitely mentioned this week that he was going to be tagged and there'll be a target there. So we try to help him out, and as always, he did some amazing plays, and he just generates so many scores from nothing for us.
Pat, Joel Selwood up here. My brother Scott coached you for a number of years. He wouldn't let me go past this moment, but that moment that you had down the punt road and in the goal square, what happened?
Yeah, missed scoot here. Well, I dove for the ball and then it just bounced under me somehow. I sprinted about 100 metres to get back there. Thought I was doing the right thing and, just bounced under. So not my best, but, what can you do?
And then
You're a hard man, Joel, bringing that up.
Straight up, Joe.
Poor bugger.
He just doesn't get away with it. Scoot wouldn't let him get away with it either, would he, Pat?
No, exactly. But we'd have a laugh about it still. He would laugh about it and take the piss out of me a bit. But I tried.
Tough night for your backs, Howie and Perriman, without them for much of the second half.
Yeah, really tough to see them go down. Playing with two numbers down puts a lot of load on everyone else as well. And I thought we had Jack Crisp and Steele Sidebottom, who are normally in the midfield rotations. They went back to try and help out, and I thought they did a good job, and they all fought really hard back there.
Pat, as the last 6 weeks, it's been a good run of form. Has it been off the back of giving the guys like Alan and some of the other younger boys just more opportunity, or has it been a shift more so in what you're doing? It seems like you're playing with a bit more tempo and dare.
Yeah, I definitely think we're playing with more tempo and dare, and our ball movement just looks way better compared to if you were watching us earlier in the year. It was pretty boring, so we're really taking the ball forward. And I think a lot of those young guys, you mentioned Ed Allen and Liam Puncher, Angus Anderson, they're just really driving a lot of energy in the group, and it's great to see them playing some consistent AFL football for such young players. It's awesome to see.
And winning 6 in a row, is it hard? I mean, not many teams are able to do it. Does it catch up with you after 6 weeks?
Oh, not necessarily. I feel like everyone rocked up to this game thinking it was going to be 7 in a row. As the boys know who have played, you go into every game thinking you're going to win, and you're always optimistic. So whether we'd won 6 in a row or we're coming off a loss, you're always positive about going into the game. But you've got to just give credit to Geelong. They are really an amazing team, and it was tough to play against tonight.
So is the nature of the defeat, Pat, disheartening in terms of your ambition for the season?
Not necessarily. It's 1 week. Don't want to be cliche, but obviously it was a disappointing game, and Geelong, really played better than us. But we can't be disheartened. We're still in the fight, and we can still keep going.
Can you blame the pre-match for it?
Well, no, because Geelong did the same thing, so you can't. But it was cool.
How did you find the pre-game run out tonight? I'm so interested to see if that affected the first quarter at all.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw it. I pointed the wrong way on the telecast. Pointed to the city and said that we'll go to the punt road end, so that was a good start. It was definitely unique. I liked the build-up on the field and then just get straight into it. There's too much fluff pre-game, so I was a big fan.
Absolutely. You certainly started it with a lot faster than Collingwood did. Now, I just want to ask, I know that Collingwood was more known for their chase downs probably 2 years ago, but was it in the back of your head going into that last quarter that they are pretty good at last quarters and they can run down any score?
We've got great respect for what they can do for all 4 quarters. We're well aware that they're, well versed in coming back late in the game, but we set the game up really well early, and probably they ran out of legs, I reckon, a bit late because of the way that we sort of set the game up. So, really proud of the effort, and on to next week.
Stewart, it felt like Joel Selwood felt like a really even game across the board for the side.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I reckon you can throw a blanket over the whole team, and everyone had their moments, and everyone did a really good job at pivotal moments, particularly ahead of the ball. I thought, Jay Polkinghorne, Ollie Wiltshire at really crucial stages, Warps and Brian as well. Like, everyone played exceptionally well, and I think that's a really, really good sign going forward.
And defence has really stood up over the last 5 weeks, more so than anything else, Stewie, with scores against. They haven't been heavy really on any occasions apart from really Brisbane and Freo, which you expect, good sides, but starting to get a real good blend back there.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think, injury and form and the like, you fully know well what the coaches get in the middle of the season, and, throw Jack Henry forward and sort of tinker with things a bit, but I think the mix that we've got down there now really complements each other, and we're really starting to build a good brand back there. some of the efforts of the boys tonight as a collective, as I said, was really pleasing, and it's a really good springboard into late in the season.
Just further that, Tom, it's Jimmy Bartel here. Well done on your game and the win. You're always strong behind the ball. It seems like you guys are just pressing a little bit harder, asking greater risk from the opposition.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's anything new to our game. I think maybe just because of the way that oppositions are playing against us, that those pressing decisions are coming up a bit more. I think, for example, tonight, Collingwood, their forward handball change and their change of angles, it probably asks you to press a bit more. I think Bucks has sort of brought that blend back from his old Collingwood days when he was there, and maybe took a little bit of adjusting early in the season, but I feel like we're really doing a good job now.
Mitch Edwards was big tonight, mate.
He was huge. Yeah, he's a man mountain, isn't he? Kicked one off his shin late, but we'll forgive him for that.
What about the balk where he went inside 50 and gave it a scratch and heel and he made a mess of it?
It's pretty fascinating seeing a bloke his size do those things, but we've been seeing that behind the scenes for the last couple of years, and he's growing in confidence week to week, and we're backing him in. He's doing a fantastic job for us, and he can be a special player going forward.
What did Collingwood do to get back into the game? Was it they were just winning some contests? Did they change something structurally?
I think they threw one behind the ball and then tried to launch their attack from their back half. They probably changed angles a little bit more, with a bit more risk coming back to the middle of the ground that we took a little bit of time to adjust to. But I think once we got on top of that, I feel like we really put them to sleep. So, as we said, though, we know that they're going to hold in the contest for a long period of time, and they're a great team. So, it's a really good, really important win for us.
Do you think you're going to be able to squeeze Jeremy back into the team? I tell you what, the kid Polkinghorne, he's going pretty well.
He's going exceptionally well, isn't he, the big fella? He's playing beyond his years, as I said, as I highlighted earlier. Like some of those moments late in the game, he just went back and calmly slotted a couple. So I think that's a real credit to the VFL program. Nigel Lappin's a wizard with the boys that he does down there. Harry Corrigan, Aaron Black, they do such a good job at making sure that when these guys are called upon, that they're ready to play at AFL level. So it's a credit to that program, and we're one in all in with all that sort of stuff, and they're doing a great job down there.
Can I just go back to, I know Jack asked about the new warm-up sort of stuff, but we saw on camera, it almost looked like you pointed both ways. You got lost because you weren't out on the ground, Tom. Do you need to put some stickers on the wall just to make sure which end you're pointing to?
I was facing, when you're in the rooms, actually, no, you're facing the opposite way, and then you turn around to face the cameras, so I was just losing my bearings. I'm not that sharp, you know that.
No, you are. No, it looked very funny.
Was it a hard call to know which way to go at that time of the day?
Well, it's funny, Jolie. I didn't actually go out on the ground, so if there was a howling breeze, I would have looked like an idiot. But I was talking to Nick Rewalt and Hamish pre-game, and they said, which way are you going to call it, city or the punt road? And I was like, I usually just go left or right, but I just thought, punt road sounded good, so I rolled with it.
Tom, we always try and treat our talkback callers with respect, even when they get the teams the wrong way round with the free kicks. But could I just...
I did catch the back of that. That's unbelievable. That's very funny.
There's been a lot of discussion this year. It's a different game. There's a lot, there's more speed in it. Do you feel, and I'm not asking you to be critical, but do you find that there are more decisions that you kind of feel a bit confused about than was the case in previous years when an older version of the game was played?
It's a challenging game to play and adjudicate, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. It's very hard out there. We understand there's a lot of mistakes, but the rules are the rules, and we're trying to adjust to them as best we can. And I think the umpires do a great job. They're never going to be perfect, and we understand that. We just get on with it and try and be the best in our next moment.
I was trying to land you in trouble. I don't think you're
thanks for that.
Trouble with that.
It's appreciated.
One last one, Tom. Have you now, maybe with 3 weeks out, and I know you'll take each game and give it the respect, have you started to think about what you could achieve and where you want to achieve it from? Like how big a gap is sixth versus that first week in the wild card? How big a difference is that, do you think?
Yeah, it's certainly unique. Obviously, it's the first of its iteration, and nobody's seen it before in the AFL. So we want to give ourselves the best opportunity we can to finish as high as we can. We go into that with the same attitude every single year, that we want to finish as high up the ladder as we can and give ourselves as great an advantage as we possibly can. So, the wild card's new, it's different for everyone, but we're just trying to do our best and the old cliche, 1 week at a time.